This is ABC15 Mornings.
An entire town evacuated.
They lost their whole house. An elderly lady over here that lived by herself, her house is gone.
We're live this morning as a wildfire rages south of the valley.
A major vaccination site moving indoors, and more appointments are about to open.
Miracles can happen at Phoenix Children's.
It was like gut-wrenching because we were like, I don't understand, like, how did this happen? Did we do something?
How doctors were able to get a young ball player back on the field.
Plus, are you feeling good this morning? The Diamondbacks are about to play their first game at home for the season. And science says baseball can boost your mood.
I mean, I love that science is talking about it and trying to prove it, but we feel it. And that's proof enough, don't you think, Nick?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think those scientists, they're onto something. But hey, you know, we already knew that, right, Kaylee?
Absolutely. We know it so much that our Justin Pizzera is at Chase Field this morning. He's been there for a couple of hours already, feeling the fever because the D-backs home opener is happening today. I'm sure you're feeling it right now, Justin.
You know, I am. It feels so good to be down here in downtown Phoenix at Chase Field. I got to tour it a couple weeks ago, and it was just like, oh, okay, things are kind of getting back to normal just being in the stadium. So we have a lot to cover this morning, what you need to know if you're coming down here later tonight or just any of the games this season. A lot of changes here at Chase Field, so we're going to run through all of that coming up in just a bit. Kaylee and Nick.
All right. We are
actually, Iris. Iris is here with a check on your forecast.
No, all is good. I'm a little bit jealous of you, Justin, because I want to be out, especially because it probably feels so good out there this morning, and it's going to be a fun morning, I'm sure, at the stadium. Hey, we're waking up to clear skies across the valley, starting to get a little bit of the daylight. Our sunrise officially at about 5 minutes away at 6:05 here this morning. Our temperatures feeling really nice right now in the 50s to 60s across the valley. It is a little bit milder at Phoenix Sky Harbor than this time yesterday, but 67, not bad if you want to head out for a walk, and cooler too in spots like Chandler, where we're down to 58 degrees. It's 60 in Glendale, 61 in Mesa, and in the upper 60s in Avondale. We're going to start off with cool temperatures, but it's going to be a quick warm up today. So enjoy the cooler weather while we have it. We'll be back in the 70s by 8 a.m., then into the 80s by as early as 10 o'clock this morning. Our high today peaks in the 90s. So we'll stay in the 80s through lunchtime, but then we'll reach a high of 94 by around the middle of the afternoon. 1 degree warmer than yesterday. We'll talk about how warm it'll be through the weekend in that full 7-day forecast. But Chelsea Davis is joining us now with a look at your Friday morning drive.
That's right, Iris. Thank you. Good morning to you and everybody at home. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. We're starting it now, right? Friday light conditions always helps put everything in the right mood. East Valley, US 60, I-10, the 202s, 101, all looking good this morning. Just wanted to let you know that the earlier broken down vehicle we had on Loop 202 South Mountain is gone, so you don't have to worry about that. Even when it was out there, it was still green flows. I-10, I-17, barely any breaks into downtown Phoenix. We do have a broken down vehicle on I-17 southbound, though. Once you get closer to Dunlap, again, not tracking any big breaks yet. Earlier, we did have a off-ramp closure on I-17. Don't worry about it. It's gone now. North Valley, I-17, 303, and Carefree Highway also showing those green flows.
Chelsea, thank you. 6:03. We are staying on top of breaking news from overseas this morning. An update from Buckingham Palace. Officials announcing overnight Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth II, has died at the age of 99. Philip spent a month in the hospital earlier this year, but was released just a few weeks ago. He had retired from public life back in 2017.
This morning, homes are evacuated. Crews are working the front lines of a wildfire in Pinal County. It's the Margot Fire, burning about 45 minutes south of Globe, and it started almost 24 hours ago, quickly spreading. Our Carla Navarrete is live right there near the fire lines, safely, of course. But is this threat over with?
The threat is not over yet. Good morning to you, Kaylee. Yeah, we're literally like at the fire lines pretty close by. You can see right behind me on both sides. There's still some hot spots out here. And of course, the fire still burning. At this time, we're being told it's at 500 acres. We see it as it could be a little bit more, but that's the official count from the forestry officials who have been keeping us up to date as far as how this fire is doing. Now, we do expect to get new figures later on this morning, but at this point, I can tell you at least a dozen structures have been destroyed. Now, this morning, crews will once again fight the fire both from the air and from the ground. people. At least 266 people have been displaced and taken to a shelter nearby in Mammoth, and of course also in the city of Kearney, which is about 10 to 15 miles north of where we are at right now. Unfortunately, some folks, though, I got to tell you, have lost their homes, while others were spared thanks to the quick efforts of the fire crews.
I mean, God just performed a miracle. He just totally performed a miracle because they told us that our house had burned down to the ground, and it obviously it did, and it's still there.
Yeah, and again, we're hoping to speak to some folks who have been displaced. We know that there are people in the area looking at what remains of the fire. We expect to get new information this morning to you. We're definitely going to bring it to you live as soon as we get that information. We're also going to have a live report from a lieutenant for the Pinal County Sheriff's later on this morning, giving us some details. I can tell you 177, Highway 177 and 77 both remain open to traffic. And again, there's 2 shelters that are up and running right now where folks are headed as they've been displaced from their homes. For now reporting, I'm Carla Navarrete, ABC 15, Arizona.
Yeah, tough news there for folks. Carla, thank you. Please keep us updated and please stay safe this morning. Let's get to the pandemic. Health officials are concerned this morning that the country is back to reporting a, quote, disturbingly high number of new cases. The U.S. adding more than 61,000 new cases Wednesday, the bulk of the surge coming from the Midwest and Northeast. Health experts worry the new, more contagious variants could cause infections to fan out. The good news, about a quarter of adults in the U.S. are now fully vaccinated. Just a reminder this morning, new vaccine appointments will be available at the distribution sites run by the state. That's at 11 a.m. Those new slots will open up for next week. You can find more information on vaccines by just going to abc15.com/vaccine.
Well, happening this morning, Pilgrim's Rest Baptist Church will be hosting a drive-through vaccine event. Dignity Health will be administering the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It is first come, first serve. You do need to bring along an ID, and this event will run from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. today and tomorrow.
6:06, a sick child needing to be hospitalized. It's beyond scary for the entire family. But Phoenix Children's is a place where miracles can happen, providing healing, answers, and support.
I like playing baseball a lot. I also like to play golf.
Active is an understatement.
Oh yeah, I like to wakeboard too.
Bryson Quinn and his younger brother Colton keep their parents very busy.
It's always running around and crazy, so.
But in 2017, Bryson, the fastest player on his baseball team, started to slow down.
He started complaining about leg pain. Then a few weeks later, we ended up finally taking him into the Phoenix Children's Hospital urgent care.
X-rays and rest, but weeks later, Bryson was still in pain. That's when doctors at Phoenix Children's watched him walk and made a life-changing diagnosis.
He has leg Capgras disease.
A disease that disrupts the blood flow to part of his hip, causing bone to die off.
It was like gut-wrenching because we were like, I don't understand, like, how did this happen? Did we do something? How is this even possible? And so there were a lot of tears.
Bryson was restricted to a wheelchair.
It was weird. It was scary because I was like, I've never been in that kind of doctor, like that hospital before.
As the disease progressed, it was clear Bryson needed surgery. But then another twist.
My youngest was sick with what we thought was strep throat or something. He actually had a blood clot and a bone infection. So he was rushed straight to the ICU for a few days.
Colton, in serious danger, was able to take the date set for Bryson's surgery.
We just felt so blessed to be where we were at that point. We had people from the Phoenix Children's Hospital Foundation coming in to check on us. People would stop by with bubbles for the boys to blow in the rooms, or like he said, Nerf guns. The nurses would come in and play Nerf gun wars with them. They seriously took such good care of our whole family.
Both boys now recovered after successful operations. Bryson goes for x-rays once a year. While he has a limp, he's relearned to walk and run, and he didn't stop there.
I got to start playing baseball again, and it was really fun.
Yeah, and these guys are so strong. You can take action to help kids just like Bryson and Colton with ABC15's telethon benefiting Phoenix Children's. It's happening Wednesday. Phones will be open from 6 in the morning until 10:35 at night. All the money raised goes to help children in need.
It's 6:09. And as James Earl Jones famously said in Field of Dreams, remember that? He said, baseball reminds us of all that was good and that could be again. Gosh, isn't that the truth right now? Up next here on ABC 15 Mornings, we're going to take you live to Chase Field to get you ready and geared up for the Diamondbacks home opener today. A sign of hope today for sure. In about 12 hours, the seats are going to start filling up with thousands of baseball fans ready to see our Arizona Diamondbacks in action here at home.
Yeah, tonight's home opener against the Cincinnati Reds. ABC 15's Colin Harmon gives us a look at the matchup.
Good morning and happy home opener. Always an exciting day in downtown Phoenix and across the valley. You know, usually we don't exactly have to wait more than a week into the season to finally see a baseball game at Chase Field, but nonetheless, we will tonight. And for those that will be out at Chase Field for the 6:40 first pitch against the Cincinnati Reds, the pregame ceremony will include a tribute to frontline medical workers. Dr. Kara Christ will throw out the ceremonial first pitch, and 4 F-16s from Luke Air Force Base will do a flyover, several of baseball's traditions that we all love. And what we don't love right now is the D-backs start to the season. No way to sugarcoat that. It was already going to be an uphill battle in the NL West, but just 7 games into the year, it's gone from bad to worse. Already missing their best pitcher in Zach Gallen to start the year, along with Cole Calhoun, Nick Ahmed. At least Ketel Marte was tearing the cover off the baseball and looked to be very much his old self, an MVP type of player. But hey, we can't have nice things, I guess. And a hamstring strain suffered Wednesday in Colorado sent Marte to the 10-day DL. The D-backs come home for the first time this season with a 2-5 record against a Reds team that's off to one of the best starts in baseball.
As you look out there, 3/8 of your starting team is banged up. So, you know, we're not going to use that as an excuse. We've got to overcome and we've got to challenge each other and go out there and expect great things.
It obviously stings. You know, we still feel like we've got the people in the room that we're going to rally around each other and step up. And this team is resilient. The attitude and the mood is great. We're not pleased with our start, but we also know that we got a long way to go. And we believe that our group we have the group that's going to get it done.
Well, glass half full, baseball is being played. Some fans actually get to go this year, and, well, a home opener, always a fun day, no matter the record or the team outlook. So enjoy the day, everybody. I'm Colin Harmon, ABC 15 Sports.
All right, Colin Harmon kicking off our team coverage this morning. Colin, thank you. And we know it is a big night for the D-backs because it's opening day.
It's also a big day for families, right? Because this is tradition for a lot of families. Our Justin Pizzera is live at Chase Field this morning as the team gears up to welcome fans back into Chase Field for the first time this season.
Yeah, good morning, Kaylee and Nick. So many people are excited about this. 8,000 fans, they were originally allowed here in the stadium for the home opener tonight. But since things are kind of progressing in the right direction, the D-backs were able to open up some more seating. So tonight, 20,000 fans will be allowed into the stadium. So just a heads up, if you want tickets, there are a few still available. But just a heads up, you don't want to wait on the fence too long for this because there are so few available. Now, in the meantime, though, there are some safety precautions when you do come to the stadium tonight.
It is not your typical home opener for sure. A lot of things are different around Chase Field, but there's still the same love for baseball and fan appreciation.
We saw it late in the year with the playoffs and the World Series, how fans were able to start coming in. And for us to be able to start the season having fans in the ballpark, it's really going to take our team to the next level, especially at this ballpark, because we have a very young team and they kind of thrive on the attendance and the fans that we have.
A limited number of fans are allowed in the stadium for every game, and to keep everyone spaced apart, seats, even entire rows, are zip-tied shut. Fans have to wear a mask. No cash is accepted anywhere. The Friday's front row is closed. So is the kids' sandlot on the upper level, and now players are kept a safe distance from fans.
When it comes to the player protocol, it's very strict, and it is coming from Major League Baseball. So they have over 100 pages of protocol that they have to strictly follow. Part of that is prohibiting any sort of interaction with the fans, and I know that they can't wait until they can finally sign autographs or go up and down the line like they used to, and I hope at some point this summer we're back to that. That's certainly what we're shooting for, but at this point it's trying to keep them playing really in their own bubble.
The D-backs did talk to other teams to get some ideas and new vendors on the best way to go totally digital, so everything from your tickets to purchasing your food and stadium parking is done digitally. To make sure everything runs smoothly, the D-backs say they spent a significant amount of money updating technology and the stadium's Wi-Fi.
And that is a big thing for a lot of folks. They're very happy that the Wi-Fi has been updated here at the stadium. So you heard Derek Hall talk about this just a little bit. Right now, the players are not having any interaction with the fans. So there are no autographs. There are no pictures at this point. Even contact with some of the staff with these players is very limited. The Diamondbacks are following about 100 pages worth of guidelines from the MLB, pretty much putting the players into a protective bubble, only having contact with staff who are frequently tested. Now, as far as vaccinations, the D-backs say they are close to having the entire team vaccinated.
Yeah, the players are not required to have a vaccination, but they're greatly encouraged, and we've had a number of our players getting vaccinated, and the number is 85%. So if 85% of any team of their players have vaccination, then they can loosen those guidelines, and that's where the herd immunity number comes in. So we're very close. We're knocking on the door, and our players have been more than willing to do it, and they've also volunteered out there at some of those sites, which I'm very proud of.
So the Diamondbacks, they are hoping that as we get through this season, as we get through the year, some of these restrictions are going to start to loosen. They're going to be able to allow more fans here into Chase Field, and you eventually will be able to have some interaction with those players, so you can get your autographs and you can get your pictures with the players as well. The Diamondbacks are even in the having talks right now to having Chase Field become a mass vaccination site. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe even have a vaccination while you attend a game. That's something that they're hoping will be in the future here. It is expected to be a beautiful night, though. The game kicks off tonight at about 6:40. The roof is going to be open here at the stadium. Iris is here with a check on your most accurate forecast. That's good, Iris, that the roof is going to be open, because we are expecting a flyover with some F-16s tonight.
Well, that makes sense, totally. And I initially thought maybe they wouldn't have it open just because it's going to be so warm this afternoon. But you know what? By that time, the sun will be setting, temperatures will be trending down, and typically our evenings are gorgeous, right? This time of year, even with those highs in the 90s. So that's good to know there. Hey, this morning, conditions feel really nice. And as you're heading out the door, it's going to be a comfortable morning. But we are heading back into the 90s today, and it's going to be a warm weekend too. But there is a little bit of a glimmer of hope in sight if you're not quite ready for this warm weather to continue. We've got temperatures that are going to drop closer to the normal for this time of year, it looks like, by the middle of next week. We just got to get through a few more of these 90-degree days. Now, right now across the valley, you're looking at temperatures in the 50s to 60s in most areas. Anthem, a little milder, checking in at 72. Typically, our foothills in the morning time tend to be a little bit warmer as that colder air settles into the valley floors. But then, of course, in the afternoons, the foothills a little cooler than the rest of the Phoenix area. Right now, it's 57 in Gilbert, 59 in Queen Creek, 62 for Ahwatukee. Good morning to you in Glendale. You're also down into the 50s at this hour, and we're checking in right at 60 in Surprise. Across the state, we've got some freezes up north. Look at these temperatures. 27 in Flagstaff and in Window Rock. We're also in the 20s this morning in Heber. Payson, you're checking in at 52, and temperatures are in the 60s to 70s across western Arizona here this morning. Now, comfortable now, but look at these highs today. It's going to be a little bit warmer. Our high reaches 94 in Phoenix, 1 degree warmer than yesterday. Highs in the 60s to 70s across northern Arizona, and compared to that 30-year average, we're running around 10 to 11 degrees above the normal high for this time of year. So as you look at those highs, Tempe up to 94, 94 in Ahwatukee, and we'll make it to 94 in Peoria as well. Here's that hour-by-hour breakdown. Notice it will be into the 80s by around 10 o'clock this morning, then mid-80s by lunchtime. That'll put us in the upper 80s through, or rather mid-80s by 11 o'clock, upper 80s by lunchtime, then into the mid-90s this afternoon. Our high peaks at 94. As that game gets started, temperatures will be down into the upper 80s by around 7 p.m. So again, temperatures trending down nicely after sunset. Now, winds have been a big factor, especially when it comes to our fire threat. That Margot fire, though, luckily crews getting lighter winds overnight. Temperatures in the upper 50s right now. As we go through the day today, those winds will pick up a bit. It'll be breezy in parts of our state, but all in all, much lighter than what we felt yesterday. And then going into tomorrow, those breezes pick back up again with winds right around 10 to 15 miles an hour here in the Phoenix area, but light, occasional breezes, nothing as strong as what we felt yesterday. Highs in the low to mid 90s through the weekend, and then there you see those 80s starting Tuesday.
All right, Iris, a little cool down. Thank you. Well, despite the pandemic, baseball fans across the valley are gearing up for today. Ahead on your bulletin board, why baseball can boost your mood. .625 today is the Arizona Diamondbacks home opener, Chase Field. And if you feel like the return of regular season baseball is boosting your mood, you're not alone. The science behind this is posted on our bulletin board this morning. Doctors say springtime activities and sports can shake us out of the winter blues, especially when we feel like we're bonding with others, rooting for the same team.
Just as we have camaraderie about some of the tough times or being in cold weather spots and we share some of the misery, I think we also share some of the optimism as we start to feel springtime coming around.
And if you have the chance to cheer on your team in person, even better. Research shows people who spend more time outside during the springtime tend to have better moods. So feel good rooting for your favorite team, or gardening maybe too, if that's what tickles your fancy. And those are just some of our tips from the bulletin board this morning.
Well, Disney is officially setting the opening date for Marvel's Avengers Campus. This is a California adventure. It's going to happen June 4th, and guests will be able to check out the new rides and attractions, all based on some of your favorite superheroes, including Web Slingers. It's a 3D ride, a Spider-Man adventure. Disneyland will officially reopen April 30th to California residents only. Well, up next here at 6:30, for the first time in almost 200 days, the Diamondbacks will play at Chase Field. Tens of thousands of fans are going to be there at the stadium. ABC15 Mornings is your place for everything you need to know about opening day.
And at a time when frontline workers are more stressed out than ever before, a Scottsdale farm is offering a unique form of therapy with the help of horses. That's next.